Now, joining me in the studio, this isn't just anyone here. This is one of our San Diego real estate elite out of Carmel Valley. To give him the proper introduction, Kurt Wannebo was rated the #1 realtor in San Diego by the Wall Street Journal last year. He completed 352 transactions, either directly or indirectly. The guy has gotten 5-star reviews online. He's what I call a pro's pro. Joining me here again to talk about Carmel Valley, some of the things happening up there, and what to do with your property when you have such a volatile marketplace, how you list it, how you get top dollar for it. Kurt Wannebo. Kurt,
Greg, thanks for having me again.
had you on the radio show.
Absolutely.
We got a nice shot of Carmel Valley, Del Mar Beach behind us here. You think we wouldn't have picked a day with June gloom, but all right, it'll work.
And nothing against you, but I'd much rather be there today than here.
I appreciate that. It is only 9-something a.m. We have plenty of time to get there if you'd like.
Right.
Can I go with you?
Absolutely.
All right, so you're on the radio show this week.
Yes.
Now, you're in Carmel Valley. You're one of the most successful realtors across the country. You have a whole team underneath you. Mm-hmm. I want to make clear that you don't just cover Carmel Valley. You cover all of San Diego. Mm-hmm. But what is happening in Carmel Valley? A lot of new stuff. You explained some of this on the radio show this week.
Yeah, just socially, I was talking to you about one of the new restaurants that had opened there. Burlap is one of the restaurants that was owned by Brian Malarkey, and he shut that down and actually revamped it and basically created another seersucker. A lot of people are familiar with that restaurant down here in downtown. So he's reopened that just in time for the races so that people can visit there.
Been to a race yet?
I have not been to a race yet.
Me neither.
I want to get out there though. So it's a great place to go, and right next to the Cinematopolis there, where you can watch a movie and kick back on a lounge chair.
Seersucker downtown on 5th and Market is one of my favorite restaurants.
Right.
Brian Malarkey, did I get that right?
Correct.
Okay. He was on a television program as a judge. What was he doing on that thing?
If I recall correctly, he was one of the first contestants that won Iron Chef or one of those cooking shows, something like that.
So this guy has Seersucker downtown, very successful restaurant, great vibe, totally represents San Diego, kind of a young professional type vibe, great happy hours.
Yep.
Now he's doing again up in Carmel Valley. Now, is this a whole new restaurant, or is this kind of changing the brand and the face of
He owned the Burlap, and he basically changed it, shut it down, revamped the model, and made the menu very similar to the one downtown.
Okay.
That brand has been taking off for him across the country. I know he's opened some in Texas and Austin and different places like that. So he's decided to expand that brand as opposed to the Burlap one that was there before.
Well, you live, work, and play up there in Carmel Valley. It's a pretty fun part of town.
It is. That's right.
So what's going on with real estate? All these real estate markets are all different. You know, earlier Valentino was talking about appreciation year over year. I think we use 22%, which has been some areas of San Diego. Mm-hmm. I think Case Shiller's showing us at 7% as a whole. Carmel Valley appreciation, obviously yes, but to what degree?
Well, you know, it's interesting. The last time I was here on your show, about a month ago, right, I was the first one that was telling you that the inventory was opening up, that there were more properties on the market, et cetera. And I had quite an interesting reaction to that. People were like...
Can I frame that up properly?
Sure.
So on every news channel you watch, we live in this 24/7 news cycle where accuracy isn't necessarily very important. And when it comes to real estate and your major financial decisions, you can turn on any of these major national networks or even some of the things here locally. And Kurt described it. He said that the media is 30, 60 to 90 days wrong. Or
late,
not wrong,
late,
but late. And a lot of realtors, they get their information from the media.
Exactly.
You said this 30 to 45 days ago, that inventory has actually opened up a bit.
Right.
At that time when you said that, anybody would have called you crazy.
Right.
It came to fruition. Now you're hearing it open up. You're hearing things like price reduction. So thank you for being ahead of the curve.
Right.
We actually have some stats that we can reference here that you brought in for us just to talk about what's going on in the marketplace. Now I know to the naked eye that probably looks very confusing, but what's going on?
Yeah, basically these are some stats that are on my website. At the top upper right hand corner, that kind of shows the inventory and what was going on.
So is it brokerkurt.com?
Brokerkurt.com is a way to find this information for 92130 specifically. To find it easier, I have a website, 92130 Market Update. Brings you to the exact same place. You just don't have to click around to find this data. But what I decided to do, I actually just recently added this because I figured if I'm talking about this information, I might as well put it out there for my clients and consumers to be able to see so that they can see the real-time stats. This is updated every single day. It's not on a monthly basis. It's not what's happening in the past 30, 40 days. It's real time so that they can take a look at it and see what's happened in the past and what's happening right now. Because this is where pricing comes into consideration. And I said, you know, one of the things that you have to be considerate of when inventory is increasing or decreasing, when you put your home on the market, you need to look at trends. Okay? One of the things that most people will do is when they go to decide to put their home on the market, they'll sit down with a real estate agent and they'll look at all the comparables and what all the comparables were for the last 90 days.
Right.
And they'll say, well, this comparable here sold 3 months ago, so that's where we should price our home. And nothing can be further from the truth. You have to look not only what's happened in the last 90 days, but where we've gone to from there. Is the market going up? Is it going down? Is inventory increasing? Is it decreasing? And then you have to take into consideration this. If you're going to put your home on the market, you're probably going to take a week or two to get it ready, perhaps staged and get pictures taken, get it ready to show.
Yeah, and as we know, I mean, a week or two in San Diego,
right?
It's not Kansas anymore, Toto.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is different than places like the Midwest.
Right.
Things shift so quickly that 2 weeks in a real transaction versus us just talking about it here, in a real life transaction, a big sale. I know you work with a lot of luxury listings as well. A big sale, that 2 weeks can make a world of difference to what the home goes for.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you put your home on the market. It might be on the market for 2 to 4 weeks, some negotiation periods in there. And then by the time a buyer comes in, if they're having financing, their appraiser isn't going to come out for another 2 weeks. So the reality is when you list your home, you have to project 30 to 45 days out as to what it's going to sell for and look 90 days back and see what the trends are and price accordingly.
So I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
I think you probably know what I'm going to ask. You have shown from the last show to this show, from my last radio show on KCBQ to where we are now, that you pretty much spot on predicted what would happen and how the media and the rest of the industry would catch up to the information you had.
Right.
Now, I know you didn't bring your crystal ball, but if we're going to say that we're going to have Kurt on the show 30 days from now to talk about what's happening in Carmel Valley, Del Mar up there, where are we going? What is the media going to be getting right in 30 days from now, Kurt?
Well, right now, interestingly, you've had everybody on here saying inventory is increasing. The reality is it did decrease just a little bit.
There you go.
Just a little bit.
You heard it here. It's now decreasing. So, and this is
not
up,
drastic.
down, left, right within 30 days.
Within the last week or two.
Why though?
Okay.
What's the why behind the market?
It's nothing drastic, and I don't consider it a trend yet because it's only happened in the past week or so, but part of it may be seasonal, okay? We deal with the seasonal real estate factor here in San Diego that is primarily based more on school seasons, okay? So a lot of schools right now are starting here in August and September, and demographics of buyers that are looking to get their people into homes by that time have dropped out, and a lot of people who would consider selling their homes have decided to either stay put because their kids are now going to stay in school, and they'll come back on the market in the spring, et cetera. So it's traditionally, we'll see our inventory traditionally decrease in this last quarter of the year. So it's nothing drastic. It's not creating a decrease in prices by any means. It's perfectly healthy and natural, but it was a small tick in a decrease of our inventory.
So we're a little bit ahead of the curve there.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. We've got this through craigsewing.com. We've got it from the Facebook fan page as well. By the way, we're almost at 10,000 likes. So join it. Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? I think it's because we added you to the page now. Everyone's coming to see Kurt Wannebo, the #1 realtor according to the Wall Street Journal. So you're helping our ratings. You're helping our SEO. No, but we get a lot of these questions about investing. Now, we want to help investors. I feel like I go to bat every day for the first-time home buyer, the brave soldier that served our military, that gets the VA financing, building the home, the memories. We do help a lot of investors, but aside from that, I think a question that a lot of people have is, you've seen these prices going up. A lot of it's been fueled by low interest rate and investors. When would we expect to see investors pull out, and how is that going to affect things?
Well, when will they pull out? I don't know. There's a lot of different types of investors.
Are they starting to?
Depends on what kind of investor. The ones who are simply doing flips, there's not as much inventory for them. So we see them changing their model a little bit. And some of the very large institutions who would buy hundreds of properties a month and flip them are now switching to a model of buy and hold.
Yeah.
They're going to buy their properties, they're going to fix them up, and then they're going to rent them out, maybe for a couple of years. And in hopes of appreciation and rising rents, they'll make their money that way. There's still every kind of investor out there, but it's just different types of investing that's going on.
I think with all this stuff, it's exciting, it's interesting. I think we're never going to lack content on this show. When I was asked to do a real estate show, my knee-jerk reaction was, come on, we're going to bore people to tears with it. But the truth is, it's our job to make it interesting, and the market in San Diego makes it interesting. Now, I'm originally from St. Louis. I don't know if I could do a real estate show there. You can do it here because you have these volatile shifts. The real estate market is so rich, and by rich I don't mean like money. I mean rich like a lot going on. You know, a lot of stuff
And
happening.
so many different types of properties. You have downtown lifestyle and high rises.
point.
You have beaches. You have out more eastern where there's large plots of land, and so there's all kinds of different.
You got
types
a
of properties.
45-minute flight to Vegas. You got a 3-hour drive to Big Bear. You got a
Correct.
3-hour drive to Palm Springs. So San Diego is, you know, it's this beautiful place on the coast. It accesses everything. It's got all these cool little micro markets depending on your style. I know that a lot of people that watch this show are very interested in numbers and real-time information. Kurt does a phenomenal job with this. If you go to his website, it's brokerkurt.com. What are they going to find when they go here, Kurt?
Well, there's all kinds of information there. Like I said, for my area that I'm working in the 92130 zip code, we do have all those live stats. We're actually considering adding all of that information for the entire county. So you can look in any zip code area, any area, and see some of the real-time stuff that I'm looking at to help analyze pricing and trends and where we're going.
Well, you don't need to hear it from me. The Wall Street Journal ranked this guy #1 in San Diego as far as realtors go, with 352 real estate transactions last year. He's a leader. He's a pro's pro, and it's great to have him in here. Visit brokerkurt.com.